Fast Money, Women, and My Life. I'm off beat, hold on. Starring Langston, 2092. Let's go. So, we're gonna pick up where we left off at, right? So I told the broad, yes, I want to move in with you. Now let me give you some background information, because I don't want to leave you all empty-handed, right? So what happened was, she was from Spanish Harlem. She'd been down here for about 2 months now. She was she was working 9 to 5, and she was staying with her aunt. Now her aunt, I don't want to say anything really wrong because her cousin, and I don't want to say her name, but her cousin starts with an A. She's probably looking at this. That's her mom's. So her aunt was just like, I don't know, she was just real sedity, you know what I mean? And she didn't like me off the rip. I don't know, for whatever reason, she just didn't like me, right? I remember one time I went over there and her grass was like high as hell, right? I mean, it was high, like it was a jungle. And I went and got the gas and cut her lawn, the front and backyard. Me and, I'm gonna call the girl that I was seeing Kay. Me and Kay, we cut the lawn, right? The aunt comes, we sitting outside, sitting on these like beach chairs, and we're bushed, we're tired, right? The aunt comes out and she sees the lawn and she didn't say nothing. Kay said, we cut the grass, right? And she didn't say nothing. So she walked back in the house. So I told Kay, I said, well, damn, I mean, she could at least said thank you, right? So Kay goes back and tells her, yo, Langston said, well, you could at least said thank you. You know what she did? The aunt did, she came outside and said, I don't owe you any favors because I didn't ask you to do this. So she was just a complete, at times, an a-hole. Now she softened up later on, right? But anyway, she wanted to get out of the house, right? She wanted her own. Now, I got so punani whipped that I was missing days out from the spot. I was missing out on money. Important days like Saturday, when I made, the bulk of my money, like $200-300. I was missing those days because I was so wrapped in the pussy to the point where I was missing days and money was, I wasn't making any money. And guess what happened? Eviction notices come. Guess what happens? I get my water cut off. So now I gotta buy gallons of water and pour water on the top of the toilet so that I can flush the toilet. I have to heat up water in order to take a bath. I had to do whatever I needed to do with water. I had to buy gallons of it. So wash dishes and everything. So my life was like really coming to a close because I was so pussy whipped. So she looked at it as an opportune moment to say, hey, listen, why don't we just get our own place? And at first I was like skeptical. I said yes, and then later on I was like, yo, I don't know if this is gonna work. I've already stayed with 2 females and it turned out very, very bad, right? She was like, no, we're gonna be roommates and this is that. And I'm like, yo, I'm already hitting it. So we more than roommates. You know what I'm saying? So make long story short, we moving together. So I'm going to the spot, but I'm losing money. So I have to go back because the spot got busted and it got hot. One person saw me up there. Next thing you know, three or four other people got up there at the strip mall and they're selling, but they're not selling it like me. They being all loud and cursing people out. Cops come and the spot just got busted, right? So what happened was I couldn't afford to go back and forth to New York, so I used to burn my own VHS tapes. I got a dual set VCR. I rented it from Rent-A-Center, so I would record my own and duplicate them and go back out to the projects, basically you know, risking my life because I already got robbed like twice. You know, so here I am back out in the projects. I'm doing my thing or whatever. And Kay comes up with this neat idea that she wants to start selling lingerie. She wants to open up her own lingerie shop / coffee like Starbucks shop, right? So I'm like, yo, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'll help you do that. So make long story short, she went up to the garment district in New York. She got a few items. She brought it back down, and she had like a lingerie party. Now I'm pushing everybody to come, and she's pushing people to come that works with her. But the only person that showed up was a person that I knew, and they bought like one item, which was like $25. And she had about 30 items left. You know, of course, what I had to do, I had to get out in those streets. So I used to set up at this gas station off of Summit Avenue, right down the street from A&T. And the lady, she was cool with me. You know what I'm saying? I took, and I'm not lying. This is my word. I took the lingerie and hung them up on hangers, and right in front of the gas station. So when you walked in, there was lingerie all over the windows, right? So people were buying it, you know, and I got rid of that. I went to the projects. I got rid of like most of it. It was only like 2 or 3 items left. So Kay wised up a little bit more, and she was like, you know what? I can't really make no money doing this way or whatever have you. I'm gonna start selling stripper outfits. And she started ordering stripper outfits from Fredericks of Hollywood online. You know, she had got a business license and all of that. She started ordering online. So she went to this she used to go to this one strip club. It was basically an all-white strip club, and she would make a little bit of dollars. But me, that was some of the best times. So I said, you know what, just give me some of them, and I'm gonna go to the black clubs, right? And I never forget, I used to go to Sugar Bears. If anybody knows about Greensboro, North Carolina, Sugar Bears, and it was like 2 or 3 other infamous strip clubs in Greensboro. And the irony of it is that these people, they used to let me inside the back where all of the strippers were, and they were taking off their clothes. So I saw pussy, ass, tits, all of that every day, all day. It wasn't nothing for me to see that. While y'all up there throwing money and having to pay to see it, I'm in the back seeing it for free. So I would go to different strip clubs, and they would let me in the back in the women's locker room. And at times they would flirt with me like, yo, you know, you let me get this, you know, you get hit it, you know, and man, it was times I was tempted, but I was like, yo, I gotta get that bread, ma. I can't do nothing. But yo, it was crazy, you know what I'm saying? I used to be back in the back, and the strippers were mad cool, you know what I'm saying? I say girls, I don't want to say strippers, but the girls were mad cool. You know, I would go to the ABC store, get some liquor, whatever, and I would just be in the back drinking, getting effed up, and they would be getting effed up too. And it's crazy because it's like I started to see, you know, a different world, you know what I'm saying? I used to be the guy that went inside the strip club and he was throwing dollars at women, but now I'm in the inside, so I know the ins and outs, and I know the problems and the reasons why these women strip, and it's just like crazy, man. It's mind blowing. Like the Players Club is like it should be a documentary. They should instead of it being a movie, that should be a documentary because it was on point. There were some women out there that were stripping because they were going to college. There were other women out there that were stripping because they had a drug habit. There were other women out there that were stripping because they had a clothing fetish. You know, they wanted to wear, you know, high-end brand name clothes. You know, and I would hear the stories. And it was crazy to be in that life and to see it with my own eyes. I remember one time I had cards. So I gave, you know, a few of the females cards and everything. I remember one time, I never knew that this existed. This guy existed. I mean, I always seen it on TV, but I never really met a real one, right? I'm about to tell you. So I remember this girl called me up, right? She was like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "I'm at home." She was like, "Yo, me and my man, we want to buy a few outfits from you." So I was like, well, "Say no more. You could come. You could swing through, right?" She swings through, and she brings her pimp. So it's 3 strippers and 1 pimp, and they sitting on my couch. I'm not lying. This is my word. And he's a real pimp. And he's like, "Go ahead and pick out what you want, baby. Go ahead, pick out what you want, right?" So I'm sitting here, and me and Kay, our mouths are open like, I can't believe this, right? So they pick out what they want. He pulls out a knot. We made a grip that day, just like, I think we made about 200 of them. And that was just for like 15 minutes. So the whole stripping, selling to the strippers, stripper outfits, it was a lucrative business. But the biggest problem is that there was someone else that was selling them, and they had a little bit more, and they were a little bit more professional. They had a little bit more product, and they were a little bit more professional than I was. Their product wasn't as good as mine, but they had more of a selection, as well as the way they had it set up. So they had like how they had those racks that you could hang your clothes on, and you could push it with wheels. That's how they had theirs. So they would push theirs inside the club. And the female that was selling the outfits, she was doing it for years. So the reality of it is that I was just starting out. Even though my stuff was more John Blaze than hers, because I don't know like now how Fredericks of Hollywood is now, but in the 90s, they had some hot SHIT. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because like, I was pussy whipped. I'm not gonna lie. Kay had me here. You know what I'm saying? So she would pick out certain outfits too. And, we would have our weekends where she would, put on her stripper outfits and do her thing inside the confinements of our house. And it was crazy, man. I mean, the girl's body is amazing. I mean, I seen her recently on Facebook, and she don't look like that now, but in the past, whew, crazy, ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So, it was just a decent time at that time, man. And then what happened was Kay's ex-boyfriend winds up getting in contact with her. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I'm not the jealous type. If it's a thing where y'all once were friends, I mean, y'all used to see each other, now y'all friends or whatever, and that's that, then that's that. He just calling to check up on you or whatever. That's cool. I'm cool with that, right? So he was like, "Yo, I know your man hustle and everything. I got this hookup where I get sample clothes in large quantities. And I don't have nothing, I can't do nothing with them. They're sample clothes, you know what I'm saying?" And he said they're all kids' clothes, name brands like Rockaware, Sesame Street, Carter's, and all of that, right? He said, "I'll send y'all a box down, 2 or 3 boxes down, and y'all can go ahead and just sell that stuff, right?" Yo, I thought the man was gonna send me a box, right? He sent me a box like this big, like it was big, like it was thousands of pieces. And I mean, yo, I ate so well off of that stuff. I went into projects and they called me Robin Hood. The only problem with the clothes, they were sample clothes. So say for example, if you had a business or a clothing, like a clothing store, right? Sesame Street would send you a sample of a shirt and jeans that they just put out with kids, right? Now the sample jeans would have a small tear in it or a stamp that said sample on it. Now people from the projects, they don't care about that. They like, I could just sew that little stitch up. Or I could wash that sample that it had, like it was stamped sample and it was red. I could just wash that. They didn't care. So I was selling those clothes for like $15, $10, $20. Oh my God, I was getting it. It was so beautiful, man. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you know, something happened. Stay tuned. My name is Langston 2092. Like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos. 1.